In this episode of the Water Prairie Chronicles, we continue our conversation from episode 57 and chat about Sofia Sanchez's role in the Hunger Games movie, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, a new book about Sophia, and other exciting projects this teen model, actress, and voiceover artist has going on. Join me for this inspiring conversation with Jennifer Varanini Sanchez and her daughter Sophia as they share their journey of breaking down barriers and achieving success in the entertainment industry. Get ready to be inspired by Sophia's confidence and professionalism and learn how she is making a difference as she proves to the world that different is beautiful. So I want to talk to both of you a little bit about the new Hunger Games movie. Now that's coming out in November, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you want to tell when it's coming out?
It's coming out November 17th.
November 17th.
2023.
Wow, that's coming up pretty soon. Are you getting excited?
I'm so excited.
Yes, we don't know what we won't have seen the movie until you do, so it's very exciting.
Right. And when we first connected, it was before you had just gotten the role, I think, or it was maybe before you got the role back in the summertime, or before you announced it publicly. You probably already knew at that point. And then you were gone for what, 3 or 4 months, I believe.
Yeah, 4 months. 4 months. Yeah.
So let's back up a little bit. Jennifer, when did she start modeling?
So Sophia has been modeling since the day she entered our family. She is very photogenic. But her first job was, I want to say, when she was probably 4. And it was a job that was like kind of a social media campaign. And we realized how photogenic she was. So an agent was like, we think she has like a career in this.
Wow.
So we got an agent that specializes in people with disabilities. So a diversity talent agency, which is down in LA called KMR Diversity, which still exists and she's still with. And that had really catapulted her career because they were known for finding, filling roles in campaigns for major companies that were looking to be more inclusive in their advertising. So she quickly became Target's little darling. She did a ton of Target commercials, and she's posing right now, I think. And then we went on to, she's been pretty much, we've checked boxes off all the major retailers, Old Navy, Athleta, Abercrombie, Gap, American Girl, Pottery Barn, like the list goes on and on. But it wasn't until she was, I think, gosh, I always get this age wrong and I should know this, but I want to say early elementary, she was cast in a TV show called Switched at Birth, which was a very popular ABC Family TV show that featured characters that were deaf. And there was a lot of sign language on this show. And she was cast in a really important role. And that, when she did that, it was a different kind of thing. It's not taking pictures. It's actually doing what the director wants you to do and having lines at a very young age. And she was excellent. And the director said he'd never seen anyone who was so natural. And that, even typically developing children had difficulty with the things that they asked her to do that she didn't have trouble with. So we quickly learned that this was something she was maybe born to do, and has a special talent for it. So as a mom, when you know that your child has a special talent, you try and find more opportunities for them to blossom. So that's what I do. And she enjoys it and has so much fun. So
do the two of you work together to help her get ready for her roles, or does she do it all by herself now?
Well, in the beginning, I'm her mom and I coach her and help her. But for the Hunger Games movie, it was the first time she knew her lines quickly and easily because she reads and she's able to understand scripts. She loves to read scripts. She loves reading plays. So that was easy. She understood her lines. And it was the first time I decided she's 13. This is a big movie. I'm going to take a step back and let her do this on her own and just see what happens. And it was very hard as a mom to let go and to just let go and trust that it's all going to work out. So I sat with the rest of the moms. There were 4 kids there's only 4 children that are under 18 in the movie. And so I sat with the rest of the moms of those kids and did what any typical mom would do and just look at a screen where you can't hear anything, you don't know what is happening out there, you can see a picture. And she would nail it so quickly. She'd be back from her role, her little part, and I'd be like, that's it, she got it. And they're like, yeah, she got it. So she's an expert at this. She's a pro.
Like, yeah.
That is a gift. You're right.
No fear of people, cameras, new situations. Yeah.
So Sophia, can you tell us a little bit about the movie? I don't know what you're allowed to say or not say, but what can you tell us about the movie itself and the character that you played?
I played Rosie, and it's called Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I was so excited to do this huge movie for this community I'm doing, and
tell her what district Wovie is in, and what are you as Wovie? What is Wovie?
She's in Student 8.
She's in District 8, and she's a tribute.
And I'm one of the tributes.
You're one of the tributes. So that's what she can say is she's one of 24 tributes. District 8. If for those Hunger Games fans, they'll know what we're talking about. She's from District 8, and she is, her name is Wovie. Can you tell them what's in the district? What's District 8 known for? Textiles and fabric, which is why her name is Wovie.
Okay.
Woven.
Right. Yeah. Right. Interesting. Okay. So I've seen some of the movies, not all of them, but my daughter loves them, and so we've watched some with her, and so I think we're going to watch it together whenever it comes out. So I'm looking forward to it as well. And
the books are really good too. Like if you ever like reading. Oh, it's okay, not right now. It's okay. She was gonna say, can she show you? So it's all the movies are based off the book, so that's fun too because Sophia was able to read the story as well as we just started watching the movies ourselves because this movie, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, it's a prequel, so you don't necessarily have to be familiar with the Hunger Games to watch it, which is nice. So it's like the beginning of the story.
Sophia, what's your favorite memory of filming the movie?
When I was filming, I was excited to do it, and I was not nervous, but my favorite part of the movie was meeting the people. And
who did you meet? Tell her the people you met.
I met Rachel Steckler.
Who else?
And I met Peter
Dinklage.
And Viola Davis.
And who was your director that you loved?
Director, I loved
Francis Lawrence. So I think what she talked about and what she enjoyed the most, what I saw as a mom was meeting so many different people from around the globe, really. And she got to know them pretty well because we were together in foreign countries for so long.
And also I met Caitlin from the Evil movie.
And you also met Hunter Schafer.
Oh, yeah.
And just like lots of, and then your favorite thing was meeting the other kids.
Oh, yeah.
She got to be kind of like really close friends.
To meet Luna, Cooper, and Knox.
Love the kids, yes.
Did the 4 of you spend a lot of time together?
Yes, we did.
So I'm sure you're staying in touch afterwards now.
Yes, very close friends. And the other fun thing was being in a foreign country. What did you get to try and taste all the time?
All the different kinds of food.
All the different kinds of food, yes.
And I really liked it.
That's always a highlight for Sophia is the food.
Yes.
Now, I was following your adventures a little bit while you were over there because you were posting on social media, and it looked like you were traveling in a lot of different countries. So, Sophia, what was it like traveling to so many different countries?
I like traveling, and it makes me happy when I travel with her because we went to different countries, but we went to Columbus.
We went to so many countries. We can't give it away because that's one of our truths, but we went to so many countries and learned culture and, again, food and different...
And also we just be like German.
Oh, yeah, we got to hear different languages. That's very true. Yeah, she said she got to hear German and French and...
Oh, and Portuguese.
Oh, yeah.
From Ukrainian.
Some Ukrainian, some Polish. We went to London and saw lots of plays, so we just took advantage. You want to tell them about that?
Oh, yeah. So first I saw Jennifer Hansen.
Oh, she's talking about the theater.
Sorry.
We went to the theater district in London and saw a lot of plays because, you know, it's such a big culture in Europe to go to live theater instead of the movies. So we took advantage of that.
And the next one was Love of Pie, was also about food country with the puppets. That makes me happy. And the other one was Matilda.
We saw Matilda.
I love Matilda. And also saw Mamma Mia. It was also my favorite.
And then Six. Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
And my picture was in a sleeves. Exactly.
And then in Hungary, we went to the baths in Hungary.
Oh, yes.
And we went to a ballet in
it's called Swan Lake.
In the Czech Republic. We went to Swan Lake.
Yeah.
So yeah, we immersed ourselves in culture.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, it was a long time to be away from home, but it sounds like you were making the most of being there.
Yes. And we were so fortunate to have the family come and visit a couple of times. And then we got to see family, and friends even came all the way to visit. So, and you know, with the way the world works with FaceTime and stuff, you never feel that far away. You know, you can connect real easily daily. So we did that. We figured this is a once in a lifetime thing. Let's just enjoy it and you know, utilize this as an opportunity for I called it world school. You know. So
yeah.
So
Sophia, how did you face some of the challenges that you had during filming, or did you have any challenges? And if so, how did you overcome them?
Well,
was anything hard for you, or was it all easy?
There was one thing that was hard for me. I cannot see in the dark. It was
a scene that was dark. And how did you conquer that? How did you face your fear?
And when I faced my fear, it's like, I took a deep breath, and I let it go away.
She took a deep breath and just
let it go.
Let her fear go. And I did it. Yep, did it.
That's good advice for anyone going through something that they're afraid of. Sophia, how did you balance your filming and keeping up with your schoolwork for all those months?
Well, it was...
You had a teacher on set.
And
in your breaks, what would you do?
Breaks really is one of my favorite things to do. Like on breaks, when I'm on set or not on set, because
the teacher would come and make sure you were doing your work. Yeah, he would come. So part of being on set when you're a child, it's mandated by law, I think, to have a teacher on set, so she didn't miss any school. So the kids would all get together and do their homework or, you know, work on certain things. But again, we used it as an opportunity to almost like a homeschool, but in a different country. And so we would learn all we could about each country. And so, yeah, I think she got a better education in those couple of months than she would have gotten in a classroom, you know. So we didn't miss a beat. And the minute we got back, she went immediately into her regular school again and didn't miss a beat.
Yep.
She was so happy to see everyone.
I was happy.
Sophia, what are some of your goals for acting in the future?
Movies. I want to do more movies and do more modeling and do some more acting. So I really want to do model and acting myself.
Do you prefer movies or TV?
I want to do movies because movies are my favorite thing to do is act in movies.
And maybe musicals?
And I love doing musicals too. The fact those two makes me happy. I can stop my goals because my goals are just happy.
And you've got some books too, right?
Yeah, with the books.
That's another thing she does is we help write some books, right?
Yeah.
Based on your life. So keep living your life and writing more books.
With the movie coming out and having Sophia representing the Down community, what's your hope that the movie, how do you hope that it'll impact audiences?
What's really cool about this movie and Sophia being in it is that the role of Wovi that she plays is not necessarily a character with a disability. So in the book, it's that there's no disability on this particular child. So the fact that the casting agent decided to cast Sophia, I think, is kind of groundbreaking, because they cast her and there's no mention of her disability. The disability is not the focus. She is an actress playing the part of Wovi, and she just happens to have Down syndrome. So I think it's going to be mind-blowing for a lot of the audience that's not expecting it to see that, and also just see, again, she's capable. She's a child just like everyone else in this movie, or, you know, because in the game, so in the Hunger Games, it's basically children are put into this game scenario, and why not have a child with a disability that gets called to be in this game? So it's kind of like equal opportunity. And so I think it's just going to be really cool because it's not like in your face. It's very subtle and it's very implied. And I think that that's got a lot of power in it.
I'm going to skip ahead now to talk about the book some. But before we talk about that, and I know you're having trouble hearing, but there's something I want to play for Sophia. I had the opportunity to visit the local Gigi's Playhouse in my town, and they just moved to a new facility. So they were giving me a tour of the facility, and we talked a lot about those early diagnoses and things like that. But whenever I left, they were about to have a speech class come in with teens and adults, and they wanted to share something with Sophia. So Sophia, they heard about the movie coming out. They knew that your book, You Are Loved, had just come out. And I'm going to play a message now. I'm going to share the screen so you can see it. But this is what they sent to you.
Congratulations from Gigi's Playhouse, Raleigh. Woo!
Aww, that's so sweet.
So sweet.
So I told them I was going to play that for you so that they could see your reaction to it. And they're going to be watching this, so they'll be able to see that, your message to them as well. So like I said, my surprises were little, but...
Oh, I love your surprises. They're perfect.
I still love them.
Yep. We love little surprises, and that was wonderful. We love Gigi's Playhouse.
Yes, we do.
So I want to talk about the book now, the You Are Love book. Jennifer, we talked a little bit earlier about how we've already answered the question of how Sophia came to be part of your family, because you talked about the adoption in your introduction. But how did the author, Margaret O'Hare, first find out about Sophia?
So Margaret is a PK kindergarten teacher in our same county here in California, and she saw Sophia, like most people do, on social media, and saw that she was not too far from her geographically, and reached out to us and said, gosh, I'd love to meet Sophia. She sounds lovely. And we met her, and she was wonderful. And I have always wanted to share her story in a book format, but I don't have the time. I did a lot of blogging when the kids were little, and that was my writing. But I just didn't know the process to writing a children's book, and she did. She's a children's book author, so she and I collaborated and decided, let's do this together. And she quickly, she's like, do you want me to help you? And I'm like, of course I do. I would love your help. And so she spent some time with Sophia, got to really know her. And then I would sit with her for many lunches and breakfasts where I would just talk about our experience. And between the two of us and Sophia, we came together and wrote, we self-published 2 books before we got a deal with Scholastic. So we have Beautiful, you want to tell them the 2 books?
We have Beautiful Love Sophia.
And then we have...
And Ride the Wave, Love Sophia and Hallie the Surf Dog.
Yeah, so we have Ride the Wave, Love Sophia and Hallie the Surf Dog, which is about surfing with help. And then, and then we had The Beautiful Love Sophia, which is kind of an autobiographical. We did those ourselves, the 2 of us. And then we just happened to get a meeting with Scholastic that Meg had met the VP at coffee down in Southern California. It's just weird how things come together. I think it was all meant to be. this VP, Deborah Dorfman, had seen Sophia as well, said I'd love to meet her. We went to New York City. We sat down in the Scholastic office with Clifford the big red dog all over the place. And by the end of this 1 hour meeting, Sophia had charmed them, and they're like, we would love to do a book with you. So this book was an illustrated book, and it was obviously the publishing house of Scholastic, and that one's called You Are Loved. I'm sorry, the first book is You Are Enough, a book about inclusion, and it talks, obviously about inclusion, which we're it's so much our mission is just inclusion, and acceptance and love of yourself. And then Scholastic's like, that book was wonderful. Let's do another one about Sophia's adoption and talk about diverse families. So You Are Loved is a book about families, and it talks about all the different kinds of families.
And families are made with love, so we can be together and work together so we can be blessed again.
It doesn't matter what your family looks like as long as they love you.
Because your family loves you like you love your parents that way. Because your family is different is beautiful.
Different is beautiful, and your family can be different, and it's still beautiful. So like Sophia introduces that she's adopted, and that's how her family started. And then some families are there's a blended family. Some have grandparents that raise them. Some have multi-generational families living under one roof. And sometimes we look like our family, and sometimes we don't look like our family, but it just doesn't matter. And so it's a beautiful, inclusive family.
Sophia, what age is the right age to read this book?
4 to 8.
4 to 8.
That's really meant for
okay.
I think anyone and everyone should read it, but it's designed for ages 4.
Those that are listening, Sophia has graciously signed 2 of those books, the You Are Enough and You Are Loved books for us. And if you'll watch at the end of this segment, we're going to have a contest for you to be able to win those books. So Sophia, thank you for signing those books for us. The books, now you talked about, you have You Are Enough and You Are Loved. Are those 2 in a series? Is that how it's running?
It's kind of becoming a companion book to You Are Enough. So many of the characters that you meet and see in the first book are carried through in the second book, and you get to know their families a little bit better through pictures. The illustrations are quite light. So what's fun is you will have seen a lot of the characters in the first book. They'll reappear in the second book. And that means, we've got people that are wearing, illustrations of people with hearing aids, illustrations with limb difference. There's, depiction of people that are blind, vitiligo, different sizes, shapes, colors, nationalities, religions. So it's really lovely that, we hope that everyone can kind of find themselves in the.
Are there any projects that are connected to the books? You have the deal with Scholastic as far as publishing the books. Is there anything else about the books, or is there anything you can tell us?
Yeah, something exciting. What's happening with the books? They're turning it into
a cartoon. They turn it into a cartoon.
They're
really?
turning it into a cartoon. Yes. What's the cartoon
That's
called?
exciting.
I know. Say it again.
The Rocket Park.
It's called Rocket Park.
Do you know when that's going to start?
Yeah, so we don't. I think that they are developing it right now, and they're shopping it around to different networks. So cross your fingers it gets picked up. But it would be the first cartoon that features a person with a disability as the lead.
Oh, wow.
As the lead character, as the main character. So that would be Sophia, and the premise is it's based off the books, based off a little bit of her personality, but like just a spin-off of the.
Does that mean that Sophia will be doing the voice of the cartoon?
That would be the hope, yes. They obviously cannot guarantee it, because depending on what they need, if her voice needs to be younger or not, because she's 14. But you can tell them another project that you're about to.
I'm doing a voiceover for
Nickelodeon, for a cartoon on Nickelodeon. So stay tuned, and we'll tell you the name of that as soon as we're allowed, right?
Mm-hmm.
but you're practicing because she's recording next week.
Jennifer, what advice would you give a family that's considering adopting a child with Down syndrome?
Oh gosh, I would say if you have the hunch or even like a small inkling toward it, please like pursue that. And I highly recommend it. Obviously, just like with any child, it's going, your experience is going to be unique. I can't say that you're going to adopt a child and it's going to be a child that's like Sofia Sanchez, but I can say that you will be blessed with, a child that is going to bring you the most incredible love. And basically, if you have a hunch, please go forward with it. Say yes to that hunch. And even if you can't be the one that adopts, maybe get involved in helping organizations that help find families, so you can be an advocate for connecting families, or maybe raising funds for families to be able to afford it. But I will say it was not something I ever imagined doing, and I had that hunch. And if I hadn't have followed that hunch, we would not have Sophia in our life. So I always say, please listen to the little urges inside of you, and maybe it is something that will bless you.
And is there a particular organization that you went through, or is there a group that you would recommend people to get in touch with?
So there's lots. We ended up doing an international adoption just because that's how it just organically happened for us. It wasn't necessarily that I wanted to adopt out of the country. There just was a huge need. So there's a very long wait list for adoptions of people with Down syndrome in the United States, which is a great thing to have, a wait list of families wanting a child. So at least a baby. I think the list for adopting an older child, there's still a need in the United States. But overseas, there are countries that have a lot of children in orphanages that are abandoned based solely on their disability. And so we used Reese's Rainbow, which I think is still in operation. It's a nonprofit that helps connect families with children in need and helps with the fundraising. And then, but otherwise, you can just get, again, a Google search for adoption and Down syndrome, and you'll find a lot of different organizations that might be more local.
Now, we've talked about some projects for Sophia already. Do either of you have any other projects coming up that you want to tell us about before we finish up here?
Any projects? Yes, we do.
We do.
We're leaving next week. Where are we going?
We're going to...
What country? Iceland.
Wow.
We're heading to Iceland next week.
Yes, we are.
And it's a project for a nonprofit called Just Like You. And again, more info to come, but it's going to be a humanitarian project looking at the country of Iceland is the first country to tout that they have eradicated Down syndrome through prenatal diagnosis. So we are going to go to Iceland and find a little girl with Down syndrome. Her name is Kolfinna. She's around 10 years old. And we're going to have the girls meet, and we're going to film that and kind of create some content to start a dialogue about why is this happening. And it's more to come, but basically, in a nutshell, Iceland is a rare, beautiful country, and we feel that Down syndrome is a rare, beautiful human condition. So we want to kind of meld those things together and start the conversation and maybe possibly change the direction that this country's decided.
When will we be able to find out, or how can we find out when that will be posted?
If you follow our accounts, we will be posting about it at length once we finish the project and the content is released. But hopefully, we're hoping that Discovery or National Geographic pick it up and do kind of a bigger story. And it's, we have the nonprofit has a lot of plans for how they'll use it, and we're not sure exactly which one will be released first, but I will definitely share, and hopefully you're going to hear about it just because it's going to hit a bigger network. But yeah, Sophia was invited to go. We're very blessed. We're going with another little girl with Down syndrome that's also a model and actress, Mia Armstrong. and the two girls will go and meet this little girl, Sophia, in Iceland, and kind of give her love, and we're going to do some photo shoots and some video and some documentary style stuff. So we'll.
Oh, nice. I'm looking forward to that. And that actually leads us to my last question. How should our listeners get in touch with you? I know Instagram is one way. What are the two of your Instagram accounts?
It's called the Sophia Sanchez.
So Sophia's is Sophia.Sanchez, like she said, and mine is the Sanchez 6, all spelled out. But you have a website too.
Yes.
With those things, www.sophia-sanchez.com. Sophia's, but tell them how you spell your name, because that's often a mistake.
Sofia.
So an F, not a PH.
Not a PH.
Yes. It's always like, that's an F, not a PH.
I'll put those links in the show notes as well so that they can find you. And those that are listening, if you haven't found their accounts yet, I highly recommend that you follow them on Instagram, because they post lots of information, lots of good information. So for those that want to know more about Down syndrome, but also to find out what they're up to, because this family travels a lot and does a lot of interesting things. So I'd love to talk to you more, but I know you have a deadline that you have to hit. So thank you both for joining me today and for telling us more about all these different projects that you've been involved with and helping us to understand more about the Down syndrome community.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to this inspiring interview with Jennifer and Sophia, who have shared their incredible journey in modeling, acting, and writing children's books. Sophia's talent and determination have broken down barriers and opened doors for others with disabilities, proving that with hard work and determination, anyone can achieve their dreams. Their children's books promote inclusion, self-acceptance, and love, and we encourage you to check them out in the show notes. Thank you, Jennifer and Sophia, for sharing your story with us today, and thank you, Gigi's Playhouse Raleigh, for your encouraging message to Sophia. Don't miss out on our special Mother's Day book bundle giveaway. Win 2 signed books by Sofia Sanchez and celebrate diversity and inclusion with You Are Enough and You Are Loved. Head to waterprairie.com/giveaway to enter now. Good luck.
This podcast is made possible by support from our listeners. If you want to help offset the cost of producing the Water Prairie Chronicles, become a supporter at buymeacoffee.com/waterprairie.
You've been listening to the Water Prairie Chronicles, a podcast created to encourage and support parents of special needs children. If you found value in this episode, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes of the podcast. I'm glad you were able to join us today, and I hope to see you back next week for another episode of the Water Prairie Chronicles.